and a very warm welcome to Game On. I'm Neha Bharadwaj-Alter, and on today's show, we take a look at the upcoming Paris Olympics from an Indian angle. After winning 7 medals in Tokyo, India are sending a 117-member contingent to Paris, with athletics being the biggest group of 29 names, followed by shooting, in which 21 athletes will take part, and hockey with 19 of them. So, as the anticipation builds up for Paris Olympic 2024, let's take a look at some of the top contenders for who have the best chance to win medals at this Olympics. And we're going to start with who else but Neeraj Chopra, the defending men's javelin champion, the first Indian track and field athlete to win an Olympic gold. Neeraj will look to repeat his extraordinary feat in Paris as well. The good news is most of the world's top throwers have managed 87 to 89 meter range, which is what Neeraj Chopra excels in. He may not have gone past the 90 meter mark, but has won every big event within that range. The only thing that can work against him is the fact that due to an adductor injury, he has competed in just 3 events. So how ready is he for a big competition like the Olympics? That needs to be seen. But of course, Indians are pinning their hopes on Neeraj Chopra because of how special he's been. Now, Indian men's hockey team are the reigning bronze medalists from the Tokyo Olympics, and they will want to give a perfect farewell to their veteran goalkeeper P.R. Chajesh, playing his last Olympics by changing the color of the medal from bronze to possibly gold. The team is a good mix of youth and experience, led by captain Harmanpreet Singh, who is one of the best track flickers in the world. Add to that the creative brilliance of vice-captain Hardik Singh in the midfield, and the experience of Manpreet playing his 4th Olympics along with Rajesh. Craig Fulton's boys do have what it takes to be on the podium again, but they will need to win their first 3 group games against New Zealand, Argentina and Ireland to ensure they make it to the knockouts. Their last 2 games are against Belgium and Australia, who will be difficult opponents for them, and the results could go either way. The recent form of the team is also not up to the mark. They were beaten by teams like England and Germany, but they did win against Argentina, who are in the same pool. Let's move on to the 2-time world champion, Commonwealth champion, Asian Games bronze medalist, and India's best boxer in this Olympic cycle, Nikhat Zareen. In another big medal hope for India, the boxer has beaten everyone there is in the 52 kg division. She is nimble on her feet, throws mean punches, and would love to prove herself in her first Olympic appearance. But it will come down to how she manages the pressure of expectations, considering she is the 2-time world champion and has only 2 losses since 2022. Coming out of the shadows of legendary boxer Mary Kom, this Nizamabad girl will want to lay her hands on an Olympic medal, the only one she's not won so far. 2022 was a big year for Nikhat. She beat Tokyo Olympic silver medalist Buse Naz Chakiroglu en route to the title at the Strania Memorial, making her the first Indian boxer to win 2 medals at that event. Then came the biggest event of the boxing calendar, the World Championships. Nikhat was so clinical that her scorecards at the World Championships read 5-0, 5-0, 5-0, 5-0. Not a single judge in any of her 4 bouts awarded even a single round to her opponents. She's also been training with one of her biggest opponent, Chakiroglu, and will know what to expect when she meets her in Paris. All right, we'll move on to badminton. Now, they were ranked world number 1 until last month. India's dynamic badminton duo, Satvik Sairaj, Ranki Reddy and Chirag Shetty, stand as key contenders for a medal in Paris. Despite an early exit at the Tokyo Games, their performance trajectory has soared since then. In 2022, they played pivotal roles in India's Thomas Cup victory, followed by a gold at the Commonwealth Games and a bronze at the Badminton World Championships. In 2023, the duo continued their winning streak with victories at the Swiss Open, Badminton Asian Championship and Indonesian Open. In March 2024, the duo clinched the French Open title and followed it up with a triumph at the Thailand Open in May. Now, they know what it's like to play in big tournaments, having medaled in a majority of them, and it's hard to stop them when they are on song. But one concern for them could be that Satvik, he's been held back by a shoulder injury that's been troubling him for a while now. And they did make an early exit from All England and the Singapore Open. They also withdrew from their title defense at the Indonesian Open. Moving on to shooting. Sift Kaur Samra is the world record holder in the women's 50-meter rifle 3 position. She's also the reigning Asian Games champion, where she beat world champion from China on her way to a gold medal in that category. And she is one of the brightest medal prospects in India's shooting contingent. She's all of 22. She left her MBBS studies for shooting. Yes, in India, where if you crack NEET, your future is all set. But the Samras decided Sift should continue with shooting because she was so good at it, and that too in the toughest discipline of range shooting. The best thing about her is her mental toughness, which is extremely important in the sport, and the age at which she started shooting. Sift started shooting when she was in the 8th grade after seeing a family friend's son at the World University Games. Let me tell you, about 50-meter rifle 3 position, it is the toughest because one needs to shoot in 3 different positions: prone, kneeling and standing, and that too from 50 meters, with wind speeds and weather playing a huge role. Sift won the Junior World Cup in Seoul 2022. Her biggest moment, though, was the Asian Games gold last October when she finished ahead of Kyung-Yu by 7 points. Before that, she had a bronze at the World Cup in Bhopal and a quota ceiling final at the World Championships. Okay, now let's move on to Mirabai Chanu. Mirabai Chanu is only the second weightlifter to win a medal at the Olympics. She won a silver in Tokyo, and I remember it was the first medal India won in those games. Mirabai has crossed the 200 kg mark 4 times in her career, and there's only one other lifter among the 12 in her division who's gone past that mark, which gives her a good shot at being on the podium again. But to do that, she needs to be able to lift 200 to 210 kgs, which can be achieved if she betters herself in snatch and lifts up to 90 kgs. Can she do it? Yes, but she's had her share of injuries since last year, has competed in just 3 events because of those injuries. So not really the best preparation for an athlete going into the Olympics. But she is already a medalist at the Olympics and knows what it takes to win one. Now, moving on. This is a story about how India is operating before the Olympics. Also a story that we've heard before, where the Sports Ministry and the other stakeholders have prioritized the needs of star athletes over some of the not so decorated athletes and support staff. According to this story, the Indian Olympic Association has been forced to accommodate personal coaches and support staff. Vijay Kamboj, who is a masseur with the boxing team, will lose his place in the Paris Olympics Games Village to accommodate PV Sindhu's mentor and badminton great Prakash Padukone. After Padukone vacates the room, it will be allocated to Vinesh Phogat's personal coach, Volan Akos. The decision to shift Kamboj was taken on Monday. It means that the masseur will have to be put up in a hotel, will have to travel daily to the Games Village or to the North Paris Arena where the boxing competition would be held to help out the boxers. This is so the big name athletes do not take to social media and possibly embarrass the ministry by accusing them of being unhelpful. Why at the beginning of this story I said we've heard this story before, because this has happened in the past as well. Vinesh Phogat, she had complained openly in the past at the Tokyo Olympics, where she claimed that the absence of a physiotherapist was one of the main reasons for her failing to win a medal. Okay, now let's take a look at the medals India has won in the 21st century in Olympics. We start with Sydney in 2000. India won a silver in weightlifting. Only 2 women have won medals at the Olympics in weightlifting. First was Karna Malleshwari in Sydney in 2000. She won in the 54 kilogram category. And then, of course, I just told you about Mirabai Chanu. In Athens 2004, India again had just 1 silver medal, that is Rajyavardhan Singh Rathore. He won in men's double trap shooting. In Beijing 2008, we won 4 medals. 1 historic gold with Abhinav Bindra in the 10-meter air rifle event, 2 bronze medals. Vijender Singh, he got 1 in boxing, and Sushil Kumar won in wrestling. In London 2012, India won 6 medals, 2 silver and 4 bronze medals. Sushil Kumar and Vijay Kumar, they both won silver medals. Saina Nehwal in badminton, Mary Kom in boxing, Yogeshwar Dutt in wrestling, and Gagan Narang in shooting all won bronze medals. Then let's move on to 2016 in Rio de Janeiro. We won 2 medals, 1 silver and 1 bronze medal. PV Sindhu won a silver in badminton, and Sakshi Malik, she won a bronze medal in wrestling. Let's move on then to Tokyo 2020, where India returned with the best ever medal haul, 7 medals, 1 gold, 2 silver and 4 bronze medals. Mirabai Chanu, she won silver in weightlifting. Lavlina Borgohain, she won a bronze in boxing. PV Sindhu, another medal to her list of achievements. She won her 2nd Olympic medal, but this time it was a bronze. Ravi Kumar Dhaiya, he won a silver. Then the Indian hockey team, pleasant surprise there in how well they played, and they won a bronze. Bajrang Punia won a bronze in wrestling, and then the one and only Neeraj Chopra created history with an individual gold in javelin throw. Overall, India's total at the Olympics, 35 medals with 10 gold medals, 9 silver and 16 bronze medals. Right, around 45,000 police will secure the Paris Olympic Games opening ceremony on 26th of July, which will be attended by nearly 300,000 spectators and over 100 heads of state and government. A Paris 2024 senior official has confirmed that there will be no change in security plans despite the attack on Donald Trump. In the opening ceremony taking place for the first time outside a stadium, about 80 boats will carry athletes from around the world on a 6-kilometer route along the Seine River towards the Eiffel Tower. The open-air ceremony will take athletes and performers alongside some most stunning landmarks in Paris. That poses a major security challenge. Organizers claim to have very dynamic security plans. They always take into consideration the latest events and try to adapt to the threat perception considering the global situation. Over 100 people will work at the Games security headquarters round the clock to monitor and supervise the security arrangements. Here, the Games head of planning and coordination, Lambis Costandinis, and French Security Minister Gerald Darmanin talk about the Paris 2024 security plans.
So the opening ceremony is a very unprecedented operation, as you know. In order for that plan to go ahead, it was agreed at the highest level of this country. The President of the Republic supported the initiative. So what I can tell you is we have an unprecedented security operation with over 45,000 security agents here supporting whether it is the athletes, the guests, or of course the spectators across the entire 6-kilometer span of the ceremony. We are extremely grateful and very confident in the state's capacity to assure the security of this event, which has been planned for over 5 years now. Absolutely, that's customary at the Olympic Games because of the sensibility of the event. Foreign agencies are in regular contact. They are very well briefed about our plans, and they have been very supportive and very complimentary of the effort that's being put in place. You know, security plans are very dynamic. They always take into consideration the latest events and try to adapt. As I mentioned, we have very close collaboration with the U.S. security services and its Secret Service. So we are sharing also any information we have. So we're very confident that we're on the same page, and but we have not had to change any of our plans as a result of that very unfortunate incident.
We are therefore entering a situation which is that of the situation in Paris during its Olympic Games, and in particular this opening ceremony, which will therefore take place on the scene and for which we have been preparing for 4 years at the Interior Ministry under very meticulous conditions. We have no known threat to the Olympic Games or the opening ceremony to date, but we are being extremely careful. The attempted assassination of the American president, even if we have yet to know the exact modus operandi and the exact motivations of how it happened, shows that it's a violent society we are living in, and that even in the country the most secure in the world, in a democracy of the United States of America, we cannot take things lightly.
Argentina's Vice President Victoria Villarruel had come out in defense of their national football team players who've been accused of racism after posting a video in which they sang a song about French national players. In a post on her X account, Villarruel called the accusations hypocritical and expressed her support for midfielder Enzo Fernandez, sharing a strongly worded statement on a social media page. English translation of her post in Spanish read, and I quote, "Argentina is a free and sovereign country. We never had colonies or second-class citizens. We've never imposed our way of life on anyone, but neither will we tolerate that they do it to us. Argentina was made with the sweat and courage of Indians, Europeans, Creoles, and blacks like Remedios del Val, Sergeant Cabral, and Bernardo de Monteagudo. No colonist countries will intimidate us for a song or for telling the truths they do not want to admit. Enough of feigning indignation. Hypocrite. Enzo, I support you. Messi, thanks for everything. Argentines always have your heads held high. Long live Argentina." The video posted by Argentina national and Chelsea player Fernandez on his Instagram account featured some of Argentina's squad members singing a song about the French players. Fernandez later apologized for the video, which showed Argentina players celebrating that victory, beating Colombia 1-0 in Sunday's final. The French Football Federation said the video included an alleged racist and discriminatory chant and that it would file a complaint to the global soccer's governing body, FIFA. FIFA and the Argentinian Football Association did not respond immediately to the request for comment, but FIFA did say that they will look into the matter. British media reported that Chelsea were investigating the video. Croatian midfielder Luka Modric has signed a 1-year contract extension with Real Madrid, which will keep him at the Bernabeu until 2025. The 38-year-old Ballon d'Or winner in 2018 won a 6th Champions League crown as well as the 4th La Liga title with Real last season. Modric's previous contract expired at the end of 23-24 season, but the Croatian told fans he would return next season when they were celebrating their Champions League triumph, which extended Real's record to 15 European Cups. No player has won more titles with Real Madrid than Modric, who's lifted 26 trophies since he joined the Spanish Giants in 2012. The veteran player was widely expected to retire, especially after his longtime midfield partner Toni Kroos announced his retirement at the end of the season. Modric also had no plans to hang up his boots on the international stage despite Croatia's early exit from the recently concluded European Championship, where they were eliminated after the group stage. Bayern Munich's new coach, Vincent Kompany, was out on the Allianz pitch on Wednesday as the team's new trainer held its first session with the German team. Kompany signed a deal with Bayern until 2027 after the Belgian parted ways with Burnley following their relegation from the Premier League. Following his appointment in May, Kompany said he would demand absolute aggression and bravery from his players. Bayern, Bundesliga champions in the previous 11 seasons, finished third behind Bayern Leverkusen and Stuttgart last season. They also failed to win domestic or European silverware for the first time in more than a decade, leading to the departure of coach Thomas Tuchel. which was announced in February. The arrival of Kompany, who has Bundesliga experience, having played for Hamburg SV and speaks German, ended a month-long search for Tuchel's successor. Several candidates decided to remain in their current jobs, including Leverkusen's Xabi Alonso, former coach Julian Nagelsmann, and Austrian Ralf Rangnick. In his short managerial career, Kompany, who played 360 matches for Manchester City and won 4 Premier League titles, has garnered a reputation for playing free-flowing and possession-based football. He began his coaching career at a Belgian club, Anderlecht, before joining Burnley in 2022, where his approach worked well in the second-tier championship as they secured promotion with 7 games to spare. However, Burnley's insistence on sticking to that style against teams of a higher caliber in the Premier League meant they found it hard going in the top flight and were relegated after finishing 19th with 24 points and only 5 wins all season. Also new on the Munich pitch was defender Hiroki Ito from VfB Stuttgart. The 25-year-old Japan international signed a 4-year contract. Ito played 26 times for Stuttgart last season as the club managed to finish second behind champions Bayern Leverkusen, while the left back, who can also play centrally, helped Japan reach the quarterfinals of the Asian Cup earlier this year. Around 45,000 police will secure the Paris Olympic Games opening ceremony on July 26th, like I said, which will be attended by nearly 300,000 spectators and hundreds heads of state and government. But what is interesting is how all of this will turn out to be, because at the end of the day, with what has happened with former President Donald Trump, it'll be interesting to see what Paris does in terms of security in these games. With that, we've come to the end of this show. That's it then on this special. Goodbye. Thanks for watching.
For the very first time in our investigation, we unmasked the killer of Ravindra Matre.
In 5G, we have to stand with the world, and in 6G, we have to lead the world.
Winning a Grammy was an absolutely surreal experience.
जानना है तो देखिए, समझना है तो सुनिए, सीखना है तो पूछिए, और कमाना है तो खरीदिए। जानकारी, सलाह और निवेश सब एक ही सुपर ऐप पर। पैसे का सवाल है तो जवाब है Money9। आजादी पैसे की, अभी डाउनलोड करें।
Why is the state not looking at putting an embargo on that?
As a Telangana person, I will not accept.
How do ordinary folks deal with this? $20,000 people dead and counting. What's happening in the United States of America is unprecedented. You will have to pay for this.
All eyes are on Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman as she gears up to present her 7th Union Budget on the 23rd of July. There are several expectations from the upcoming budget, ranging all the way from income tax rationalization to employment creation. To make India pivot from an agri and services-oriented economy to a manufacturing one, the government's Production-Linked Initiative or PLI scheme will be in focus. Launched in March 2020, PLI has been a strategic initiative aimed to enhance the country's manufacturing capabilities, attract foreign investments, boost export capacity, and create jobs in key sectors. Overall, through the scheme, India aspires to emerge as a global manufacturing hub, leading to a reduction in import dependency and taming India's trade deficit while also creating formal jobs in the economy. The key tenets of the PLI scheme are that the scheme offers financial incentives to global and domestic companies based on the volume of production. To qualify, a company must achieve a pre-approved minimum threshold of goods produced. The scheme is tailored to specific sectors such as electronics, pharma, auto components and textiles, among 14 others. The incentives are typically spread over a period of between 5 to 7 years. Now, this ensures that the companies have sustained growth by making substantial investments in initial years. When the PLI scheme was initially rolled out in 2020, only 3 sectors were targeted, and these were electronic component manufacturing, medical devices manufacturing, and mobile and allied component manufacturing. However, a year later, in November 2020, the scheme was extended to 14 sectors ranging from food products to solar PV modules and automobiles to textile products. In 2021, drone and drone components were also added. Some believe that this budget could see a tweak in the PLI scheme to cover more sectors. So let's look at some numbers to put this in perspective. In FY 2018, the value of mobile phone imports in India stood at $3.6 billion. In the same period, exports from India were at a mere $334 million. However, between FY23, imports more than halved to $1.6 billion and exports surged over 30 times to $11 billion, with many manufacturers actually overachieving their PLI targets. By contrast, the textile sector saw exports decline 12% from $16.2 billion in 2018 to $14.3 billion in 2023. Overall, the scheme was launched with an incentive outlay of 1.97 lakh crore rupees. Until November last year, it witnessed an investment of over 1.03 lakh crore rupees coming into the Indian industry, which led to sales of 8.61 lakh crore rupees and an employment generation, counting both direct and indirect jobs, of over 6.78 lakh individuals. Now, in pure business terms, the ROI on the government scheme is positive. But will Budget 2024 bring in new sectors like railways, shipping and toys under PLI and kick out the less performing ones? And will the PLI scheme see an increase in its outlay over the almost 2 lakh crore rupees is something that manufacturers across India and the world are keenly awaiting.
How do you fulfill that promise? Because ultimately expectations have to be met. If you look at the political landscape, is it really changing for women? And what is the inability of the forces that dead bodies surface but not the living people?
This is News9 Live, India's only digital exclusive live stream. For the early adopters, bringing you the news 24/7. For the smart audiences on the smartest TVs. News9 Live. Stream now on your smart TVs.
When we talk about India, unfortunately the country has the highest burden of road crash fatalities.
तो लगभग 76% लोग pedestrians और two-wheeler वाले हैं जिनकी डेथ हुई है.
While the highways are getting better in India, the local roads, the city roads, the town roads, these need to be improved.
This and more. Streaming on News9 plus news is now content. Subscribe and get free vouchers.
जानना है तो देखिए, समझना है तो सुनिए, सीखना है तो पूछिए और कमाना है तो खरीदिए। जानकारी, सलाह और निवेश सब एक ही सुपर ऐप पर। पैसे का सवाल है तो जवाब है